I was having a lot of wrist pain and a lot of discomfort. I went to a specialized doctor and I kind of explained my situation. He told me that he would prescribe cannabis for me, and from there I applied for to get on the state registry, and they sent me a red card, which actually basically says I'm allowed to hold 2 ounces of medical marijuana, grow 6 plants, as well as buy my medicine at state designated medical marijuana shops.
In recent years, Denver, Colorado has become home to a variety of medical marijuana dispensaries that sell everything from marijuana cigarettes to marijuana-infused baked goods. This paved the way for Amendment 64, which legalized marijuana for recreational use in the state of Colorado, despite the fact that it is still illegal under federal law. Colorado Governor John Hickenlooper appointed a task force to issue non-binding recommendations for what the new laws would look like. The report, slated to be released in early March, will provide guidelines for implementing the amendment. Legislators here are under the microscope. The impact of this reform on marijuana law in Colorado will reverberate well past the Mile High State's borders.
None of the other states that have medical marijuana laws currently in place have the regulated model quite like us.
Denver Relief is a pioneer of Colorado's marijuana industry. The normalization of medical dispensaries like this one reinforce the position of the authors of Amendment 64 that marijuana can be regulated for recreational use as well.
We've been able to show the other states and really the entire world that this is okay, and that to do it in the fashion in which we have created is a model that works.
Amendment 64 passed last November, with 55% of Coloradans in favor of the bill. Colorado and Washington State became the first states to legalize marijuana possession for anyone 21 or over. The state of Colorado stands to gain up to $60 million in annual tax revenue from the nascent marijuana industry. Entrepreneurs are flocking here in search of opportunities, but major challenges loom. Biggest one is how to prevent friction with the federal government, which still considers marijuana a Schedule I controlled substance.
If all we were doing was trying to fully implement Amendment 64, we know how to do that, right? It presents no limits on how much can be bought and on who can buy, where stores can be, any of those things. We are trying to temper that or to balance that against the fact that marijuana is still a prohibited substance under federal law, that there has been threats of full enforcement from the federal government, and we're trying to come up with something that both is consistent with what our voters approve, that is true to the spirit of what the voters approve, but also will reduce the possibility of federal intervention. So it's that balancing, trying to keep those two things in mind.
So there's no question that there will be a system of legalizing marijuana sales for recreational purposes here in Colorado. The question that remains now is exactly what that will look like and what type of bureaucratic red tape they're going to impose upon the system. It's been working since January on basically a whole slate of different things, such as packaging for marijuana products, setting up a structure for retail sales of marijuana, looking at thresholds for a DUI.
Colorado has largely been immune from the prosecutions and the interventions from the federal government that have gone on in other states. I think a large part of that is because we have a really robust, a really sincere regulatory regime in place here, and I think much of what we do is going to put us in a position where we can say to the federal government, look, we're taking care of this, we're doing a good job with this is something careful, thought out, let us take care of it.
The success of Colorado's lawmakers will be measured by whether they can avoid a fight with the federal government, who is concerned about the possibility of marijuana from Colorado reaching other states. There is already evidence of widespread leakage of medical marijuana from Colorado. Once Amendment 64 is implemented, there is reason to believe that the amount of marijuana leakage will increase, ratcheting up the pressure on both federal and state legislators.
I think people are a little bit apprehensive in regards to what the federal government will do because it is still legal from their point of view. But more so, people are excited here, and there's a lot of opportunities, and now people are able to come up with ideas and dream up stuff that's never been done before. As far as for myself goes too, being able to take advantage of the business opportunities available, and I think that people are going to just keep going and pushing the envelope until the feds do step in and say something.